Hey, I'm Kuk Harrell. I'm 5-time Grammy Award-winning, Golden Globe-nominated songwriter and vocal producer. I love being able to say that because it actually means something to my career. I'm a vocal producer, and I've worked with artists like Rihanna. I've had the privilege of working with Rihanna, Bieber, Cher, Sting, Lil Nas X, Kehlani, Money Long, and the list goes on. And I'm so stoked to be able to say that. So this year, I'm so fortunate. I'm up for 2 Grammys, one for Album of the Year for Lil Nas X. I was so fortunate enough to be brought in to produce his vocal on 5, I think it's like 5 to 7 songs. And the other Grammy I'm up for is Best Dance Record with David Guetta, Afrojack, and the artist that sang that is Lux. Her name is Lux Tide. Like, we cut that record, it was like 3 or 4 years ago. I literally thought that record was dead until one of my old engineers, Josh Goodwin, who I'm sure you know, called me and he texted me and he said, best dance record. And that's all he said. So I thought that he was saying that because he had won some Grammys the night before, Latin Grammys. So I thought that he was saying, oh, and I also won best dance record. And I was like, oh man, congratulations. And he goes, no, you're up for best dance recording. I was like, wait, what? I was like, what record? He said, Hero. I went, what? So that was years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. And here we are up for a Grammy. So how AutoTune plays into the song Hero, which is up for best dance recording. It's a really simple thing because AutoTune is always a part of every single session that I do because it's a part of the sound. It's a part of our culture right now, no matter how you feel about it. So what that did for me was I'd never met Lux Tide before. I had to fly to Chicago to record her. And if we're singing without AutoTune just on the rip, that's gonna, because of how everything is right now, that's gonna make the session go a little bit longer without AutoTune because now I've gotta dive into the pitch, what you're giving me, male or female. I've got to make sure that pitch is dead on, because I want to make sure that it sounds right without it. I want to make sure it sounds it. So what AutoTune does is gives me the ability and gave me the ability in that session. So it didn't matter if she was self-conscious or if she was nervous because we had never met or anything like that. So when you're nervous, that affects your pitch. So what I would do, that's, of course, you interject AutoTune. Put AutoTune on it, and at that point, we never had an issue about pitch. It was just all about performance. We captured magic, and now we're up for a Grammy. So the other Grammy that I'm up for is Album of the Year with Lil Nas X. I'm so fortunate that I got to work with Take a Daytrip. This was my first time working with them, and how AutoTune played into that session and all of those sessions was very easy because that's what, it's the platform, and that's what they use. So when I got the sessions, I saw that AutoTune Pro was in there. And sometimes I would go, based on the sound that I wanted on the particular records, I would go between AutoTune Pro or EFX, depending on the sound and how tight I wanted it to be. That's how we came to all of Lil Nas X's records and how AutoTune played into those. The exciting thing about working with Lil Nas X was just the adrenaline rush of the very first time. I didn't know him. I didn't know anything about him except for, oh, this is the guy that has the record out that's stirring up all the controversy. But I wasn't like really, I had to do my homework. But the first day he walked in the room, it was kind of nervous. And it was an adrenaline rush because as a vocal producer, that's part of my job is to go, okay, he may be nervous because his first record that he ever did, he did in his bedroom, I heard, and had no idea what a vocal producer was. So for me, I was kind of like, man, this could be a nightmare. But the adrenaline rush of being able to go as a vocal producer and paying attention to the people skills thing was having that dynamic with meeting him for the first time and then seeing that nervousness go away based on how I read him and read the situation and brought him into a place of being comfortable here in my space. Because he wasn't with Take a Daytrip. Like, those are his guys. So for me, as a vocal producer, I could have been like, oh man, I'm nervous. He's not gonna like me because he's used to working with them. But because of my people skills, just going, no, this is a new place. You're safe here. I'm going to send everything back to the guys. I'll make sure that everything is tuned with AutoTune like it needs to. Send it back to them, and you couldn't even tell the difference. But what you will have is a different type of performance. Being nominated for a Grammy and winning Grammys what it does for a producer, it ups their credibility. What it does is it solidifies that the work that we do sitting in this room for hours and hours and hours, we've figured out some kind of way to crack the code to be able to create something that tickles people's ear continuously, whether it be songwriting or whether it be vocal production.